Now, with most of the numbers that you're going to use to conduct your ratio analysis, you're going to get those from the annual financial statements. So they'll be audited and you'll be able to place a relatively high level of assurance on those numbers. But you have to be careful because those numbers do not happen in a vacuum. There's a certain environmental context that's led to those numbers in the financial statements that you will use to calculate your ratios. Firstly, what's happening within the global economy? Is it buoyant? Is it depressed? And to what degree is the company you looked at affected by that? So you're going to need to keep that in mind. What's happening within your own country's economy? Again, is it buoyant? Is it depressed? Is there a high level of confidence? Is it low? Are companies doing well? Are they struggling based on national economic events? That's going to impact on the ratios that you are calculating. Which industry are you in? So if you take a look at the mining industry, for instance, it's very, very cyclical based on commodity prices. That's going to have a huge impact on the ratios you calculate for a mining company. Or if you take a look at another industry, the telecommunications industry has been very, very buoyant and it tends to not be as cyclical relative to the economic cycle. What's the level of competition in terms of the company you're looking at and the industry that it is in? So if you're looking at a company which has got very little competition, for instance, an electricity utility provider or a fixed landline company where there aren't any other major competitors, or a pay TV company which has got dominance in a country or region and there really aren't any significant competitors. The ratios in that company with lower levels of competition might actually be very, very strong. You might have strong margins, for instance, high profitability. In a sector or an industry where there's lots of competition, you might find that the margins are much lower. They're much narrower. It's much more competitive. And then the final consideration in terms of the environment, you may have to consider the quality of the management team. I'll use a very simplistic example. Let's say you've got two companies. They are identical in all respects. Next door to each other, same equipment, same number of staff. One of them is run by David. David gets to work at 10 in the morning. He's not very, very diligent. He leaves work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because he's got meetings on the golf course. The company David runs will definitely have inferior ratios to a company run by you. You get to the office at 5 in the morning and you leave at 9 in the evening. That's why you're on your 7th wife. A company run by you, because of the quality of the management team, will have much superior ratios to a company run by a character like David.